Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about prior to.
No, it's my first solo tour, so I'm really excited. It's very
Are you digging it? Are you liking it?
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
Imagine this. The son of one of the most famous Hollywood power couples walks into the headquarters of the FBI, ready to blow the lid off secrets so shocking that it could shatter the image of not just his parents, but an entire circle of elite figures in the entertainment industry. That's exactly what rumors are claiming about Jaden Smith. The whispers are swirling, the internet is buzzing, and the allegations being thrown around are beyond anything anyone could have imagined. According to these explosive claims, Jaden has accused his parents, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, of being deeply entangled in a web of manipulation, exploitation, and secretive gatherings tied to none other than Sean Diddy Combs. And the kicker, he's allegedly cooperating with authorities to bring it all to light.
I ain't been nowhere near that man, ain't none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a lie. I don't even like baby oil.
Now, let's talk about the tension brewing in the Smith family. For years, they've been viewed as Hollywood royalty, quirky, unconventional, but seemingly untouchable. However, things began to shift after Diddy's arrest, which exposed a dark underbelly of wild parties, coercion, and alleged misconduct that had been hidden behind closed doors for decades. Jaden, who has always been known for his eccentricity and outspoken nature, reportedly cut ties with his parents following these revelations. And if the rumors are to be believed, he's now demanding justice, not just for himself, but for others who may have been caught up in the secretive world of control and excess. Let's rewind for a second. Remember when Will Smith publicly denied any association with Diddy's infamous gatherings? He made a point of saying he had nothing to do with Puffy, and even joked that he doesn't like baby oil, a direct reference to the scandalous details that emerged from the raids on Diddy's properties. But here's where things take a turn. According to these developing stories, Jaden has allegedly told investigators a very different story. He's claimed that not only were his parents fully aware of these gatherings, but they also actively participated in them. And worse, he's hinted that they used him as a pawn to maintain their status in the industry. Can you imagine the kind of betrayal he must feel if any of this is true?
What prosecutors were arguing is not only does your client pose a flight risk, because obviously he's incredibly wealthy, has access to planes and a lot of staff, even though you said he turned over his passport to you months ago. They were also worried about him being able to interfere with witnesses and calling them.
Jaden reportedly described his childhood as a nightmare fueled by manipulation and secrecy. Sources close to the situation suggest that he's disclosed to investigators how he was brought to these parties under the guise of networking and family bonding. But behind the scenes, he allegedly witnessed things no child should ever have to see. It's said that he's finally speaking out because he can no longer remain silent about the trauma he endured and the role his parents played in it. In fact, according to insiders, his decision to come forward was triggered by Diddy's recent arrest, which opened the floodgates for a wave of accusations and lawsuits against the music mogul.
So I think the most important thing, even more important than the passport, is that Mr. Combs came to New York on September 5th. As soon as we realized that this indictment was going to be coming down in a matter of weeks, maybe months, but sometime soon, Mr. Combs got on a plane, left his home in Florida, flew to New York. I called the prosecutors myself. I said, Mr. Combs is in New York. Do you want to know where he is?
If this sounds shocking, it's only the tip of the iceberg. Let's not forget that the Smith family has always been surrounded by whispers of controversy and unconventional behavior. Take, for example, Jaden's own admission that he introduced his family to the world of substances. Yes, you heard that right. In a speech earlier this year, he revealed that his mother, Jada, was the first in the family to embrace these substances, and it eventually spread to the rest of the household. While Jaden framed this as a transformative experience that brought the family closer together, others have viewed it as yet another sign of the family's unusual dynamics. It's hard not to wonder, was this just another layer of control and influence within the Smith household?
When we said we wanted to bring him to the table, I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? He said, mushrooms.
Yeah.
Jaden's claims add a disturbing dimension to these revelations. He's reportedly told authorities that his parents' involvement in these secretive gatherings wasn't just passive. They were allegedly active participants, working alongside Diddy to maintain their positions as industry gatekeepers. And here's where things get even murkier. Rumors are swirling that the Smiths may have been more than just attendees at these events. Some insiders suggest they were being groomed to take over Diddy's role as the ultimate hosts of these gatherings, continuing the cycle of excess and exploitation. What's particularly striking about Jaden's alleged cooperation with authorities is the sheer bravery it must have taken to come forward. Think about it. He's essentially going up against his own family, as well as some of the most powerful people in the entertainment world. This isn't just a rebellious act. It's a calculated move that could have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved. And while some may dismiss his claims as the ramblings of a disgruntled son, others see it as the first crack in the carefully curated image the Smiths have maintained for decades.
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual.
To understand the weight of Jaden's allegations, you have to look at the broader context of the Smith family's public image. Will and Jada have always presented themselves as a progressive, forward-thinking couple who value honesty and transparency. From their open discussions about their marriage struggles to their candid conversations on Red Table Talk, they've cultivated an image of authenticity that's resonated with millions. But behind the scenes, it seems there's a darker reality that's now being exposed. Take, for example, Jada's recent memoir, where she revealed that she and Will have been separated since 2016. While this was framed as an example of their unconventional approach to relationships, it also raises questions about what else they may have been hiding. And let's not forget the infamous entanglement saga involving Jada and August Alsina, which further highlighted the complexities of their marriage. Is it possible that their personal struggles were a reflection of deeper issues within their family dynamic?
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
Jaden's claims suggest that the Smith family's public persona may have been a facade carefully constructed to distract from the chaos behind closed doors. He's reportedly described a childhood marked by pressure and manipulation, where he felt like a pawn in his parents' quest for power and influence. And while he's always been known for his eccentricity and rebellious streak, it seems that his recent actions are driven by a desire to reclaim his narrative and expose the truth. It's worth noting that Jaden has always been something of an enigma. From his cryptic tweets to his unconventional fashion choices, he's never been afraid to challenge societal norms. But beneath the surface, it seems there's a deeply troubled young man who's finally ready to confront the demons of his past. His decision to turn himself into the FBI and cooperate with authorities is a bold move that signals he's no longer willing to stay silent.
You have to live up to our expectations of what we've done and what we've accomplished in our life, and you have to live with that. So we kind of knew that when we were young. And
as the investigation unfolds, one thing is clear. The Smith family's carefully constructed image is crumbling, and the ripple effects are being felt throughout the entertainment industry. Jaden's allegations have opened the door to a world of secrets and scandals that many thought would never see the light of day. And while it's still unclear what the full extent of these revelations will be, one thing is certain: Hollywood will never be the same. Jaden's decision to speak out also raises questions about the role of family loyalty in the face of such serious allegations. How does someone reconcile their love for their parents with the need to hold them accountable for their actions? It's a heartbreaking dilemma that adds another layer of complexity to an already explosive situation. And while some may criticize Jaden for turning against his family, others see him as a hero for standing up for what's right, no matter the personal cost.
My dad would just film me and my sister, and we would make Trade Tricks, Matrix spin-off. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would do all types.
The tension within the Smith family is palpable, with Jaden reportedly refusing to communicate with his parents since Diddy's arrest. Insiders suggest that his relationship with his sister Willow and his half-brother Trey has also been strained as they grapple with the fallout from these allegations. It's a family in crisis, caught in the crosshairs of a scandal that shows no signs of slowing down.
Their next film or something, and they would put me at the head of the table and just make me sit there while they talk and debate with all these people, talk numbers, talk.
At the heart of this story is a young man who's finally finding his voice after years of feeling silenced and controlled. Jaden's decision to come forward is a powerful reminder that even in the face of immense pressure, it's possible to stand up for the truth. And while the road ahead is undoubtedly fraught with challenges, one thing is clear: Jaden Smith is no longer willing to play by anyone else's rules. But the question remains, why now? Why has Jaden chosen this moment to expose these secrets? Some speculate that he was inspired by the wave of lawsuits and allegations against Diddy, which have emboldened other victims to come forward. Others believe that he simply reached a breaking point, unable to carry the weight of these secrets any longer. Whatever the reason, his actions have set the stage for what could be one of the most significant scandals in Hollywood history.
And considering that he emancipated from their household at 16 and refused to come back even to do family interviews.
As we move into the next phase of this saga, the focus will undoubtedly shift to the Smiths themselves. How will Will and Jada respond to these allegations? Will they continue to deny any involvement, or will they finally address the rumors head on? And most importantly, what impact will this have on their legacy and the future of their family? One thing is certain: this story is far from over, and the revelations to come could be even more shocking than what we've heard so far. The rumors surrounding the Smith family and their alleged connection to Diddy's infamous gatherings take an even darker turn when you start piecing together the bigger picture. If Jaden's claims are to be believed, we're looking at a story that goes far beyond Hollywood drama. It's a tale of power, control, and secrecy that could implicate not just the Smiths, but an entire network of industry elites. And the most chilling part, allegedly, the Smiths didn't just attend these gatherings. They may have taken on the role of hosts, continuing a tradition that's been whispered about in entertainment circles for years.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Let's talk about Diddy's notorious events, which insiders say were the stuff of legend but carried a sinister undertone. These weren't just glamorous parties with A-list guests. According to testimonies and leaked court documents, these gatherings were meticulously organized productions. Everything from the guest list to the lighting was planned to the last detail, with staff allegedly instructed to provide anything and everything needed to ensure the events went smoothly. And when authorities raided Diddy's properties earlier this year, they reportedly found enough supplies to raise eyebrows across the board, thousands of bottles of personal lubricants, substances, and other materials that painted a disturbing picture of what went on behind closed doors.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
Now, here's where the Smiths come into the story. Rumors suggest that after years of attending these events, they became more than just guests. Some sources claim they were being groomed by Diddy himself to take over as the next generation of event organizers. Why? Because Diddy allegedly saw them as the perfect successors, Hollywood royalty with a clean, marketable image that could distract from the shady dealings happening in the background. It said that they could continue the legacy while keeping the public's eyes firmly on their glamorous lifestyle and progressive family values. Jaden's alleged revelations add weight to these rumors. He's reportedly claimed that his parents were deeply involved in maintaining the structure of these gatherings, ensuring that the events kept running even as Diddy's legal troubles began to mount. According to these allegations, the Smiths didn't just attend, they helped orchestrate, using their influence and connections to protect the secrecy of what went on at these parties. If true, this paints an entirely different picture of the seemingly open and honest family we've seen on Red Table Talk.
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this sexual conduct and being in those spaces, consuming drugs, consuming and things of that nature.
And speaking of Red Table Talk, doesn't it feel ironic now? For years, Jada Pinkett Smith used the platform to present herself as a beacon of transparency, tackling everything from her marriage woes to her struggles with mental health. But could this have been a carefully crafted distraction? A way to keep the public focused on the family's vulnerabilities while hiding their alleged involvement in something far more sinister? Jaden's accusations suggest that the Smiths were masters of deflection, using their platform to shape the narrative and keep the public from asking too many questions. One of the most startling aspects of this story is the alleged connection to industry kingpins like Clive Davis. While there's no concrete evidence linking Davis to these events, his name has come up repeatedly in rumors about Hollywood's shadowy underbelly. Known as one of the most powerful figures in the music industry, Davis has long been rumored to have a hand in shaping not just careers, but entire cultural movements. Could he have been the one pulling the strings behind the scenes with Diddy and the Smiths acting as his foot soldiers? It's a tantalizing theory, and one that adds another layer of intrigue to this already complex story.
This is video of Diddy's family arriving to court for last Friday's hearing. Prosecutors arguing that he misused prison systems in an attempt to tamper with potential witnesses, and they say they have proof Diddy used other inmates' phone cards or used three-way calls with friends to contact associates that prosecutors consider to be a part of his criminal enterprise.
The timeline of events is also worth examining. Diddy's parties date back decades, with some of the most infamous gatherings taking place in the late 1990s and early 2000s, but it wasn't until more recently that the Smiths became regulars at these events. Insiders say their involvement ramped up around the time their marriage began facing public scrutiny. Could this have been a way for them to distract from their personal struggles? Or is it something more strategic, a calculated move to cement their place within an elite circle that thrives on secrecy and exclusivity? Let's not forget the resurfaced photos and interviews that have added fuel to the fire. Pictures of Will Smith and Diddy laughing it up at industry events have circulated online, with some even showing them mingling at Diddy's infamous white parties. While these images don't prove anything on their own, they've become a focal point for conspiracy theories linking the two men. And then there's the resurfaced interview, where Diddy denied rumors involving Will and Jada, calling the stories crazy. Was this just damage control, or was he trying to cover up something bigger?
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's The Interview, the series where we get in depth with amazing people, and I'm so honored to have this special guest with us here. Precious Muir, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm making sure I center you a little bit more. There we go. So honored to have you here. You have some stories to tell. You've survived the white parties.
And then there's the story of how Diddy reportedly invited Will Smith to one of his Miami gatherings, where the entertainment was said to include a buffet served on the body of a woman. This anecdote, while unconfirmed, has become a symbol of the excess and moral decay that allegedly defined these events. If Will attended, as some sources claim, what does that say about his willingness to turn a blind eye to what was happening around him?
Okay, so basically I was a Playboy bunny. So a Playboy bunny representing New York State. The reason why I need to clarify this is when you're a Playboy bunny, you are part of the corporation, and you are a bunny, and you do have a title, and you wear a uniform, but you don't get a month.
Jaden's own role in these events is perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this story. By his own admission, he grew up in an environment where unconventional behavior was normalized. He's spoken openly about his struggles to fit in, his experimentation with substances, and his complicated relationship with his parents. But now, it seems that his eccentricities may have been a coping mechanism, a way to deal with the chaos and control that defined his upbringing. His decision to cooperate with authorities suggests that he's finally ready to break free from his parents' influence and take back control of his narrative. The fallout from these allegations is already being felt. Will Smith's public denials have done little to quell the rumors, and Jada's memoir, which was supposed to be a tell-all, now feels like it's missing a crucial chapter. Meanwhile, Jaden's decision to cut ties with his parents has left the family fractured, with insiders suggesting that Willow and Trey are struggling to come to terms with the accusations. It's a family in crisis, caught in the crosshairs of a scandal that could redefine their legacy forever.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
And what about Diddy? His arrest has opened the floodgates for a wave of lawsuits and accusations, with more than 50 people reportedly coming forward to share their stories. The details emerging from these accounts are nothing short of horrifying, painting a picture of a man who used his power and influence to manipulate those around him. But as the investigation continues, it's becoming clear that Diddy wasn't acting alone. If the Smiths were indeed complicit, what does that say about the culture of silence and complicity that pervades Hollywood? As we unravel this tangled web, one thing becomes clear. This is more than just a scandal. It's a reckoning for an industry that has long operated in the shadows, protected by wealth, power, and a carefully constructed facade of glamour. Jaden's decision to come forward could be the catalyst for a broader movement, one that exposes the dark underbelly of Hollywood and holds those in power accountable for their actions.
If you say the wrong thing, or you complain, or I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or when they're constantly asking, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
The question now is, where does this leave the Smiths? Will they continue to deny the allegations, or will they finally address the rumors head on? And more importantly, how will the public respond? Will fans rally behind Jaden as a whistleblower, or will they turn on him for betraying his family? These are the questions that will define the next chapter of this story, and the answers could have far-reaching implications for everyone involved. As we wait for more details to emerge, the tension is palpable. The Smiths have built their careers on a foundation of authenticity and relatability, but these allegations threaten to destroy that image forever. And while they may have managed to weather past controversies, this feels different. This feels like the beginning of the end for a family that once seemed untouchable. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. And as the curtain falls on this chapter of the Smith family saga, viewers are left with a whirlwind of questions and emotions. How deep does this web of secrecy and manipulation go? And who else in Hollywood might be implicated? Moreover, can the Smith legacy ever recover from such explosive allegations? Or is this the end of an era for Hollywood's once untouchable royalty? The comment section is open, and the audience is eager to hear thoughts and theories. So don't hold back, share opinions, ask questions, and let the discussion unfold. Until the next revelation, stay curious and keep the conversation going. Goodbye for now.